So what you think about the taking down of the statues?
Well, some people have tried to take that and run with it. The George Floyd lynching, and like all of a sudden, the state gets it. At last they realize that they've been racist. At last they realize, their white privilege. At last they realize, how dangerous white supremacy has been. You know what I'm saying? And okay, take the statues down. Let's remove all these vestiges of white supremacy and racism and hate and all this kind of stuff. But there are those who think, and then there are those who think critically. The point is that taking those statues down is not a revolution. Taking the statues down is something that can be used to prevent the social transformation of society on the part of those who have been politically, economically, even religiously oppressed. So you can build the taking down the statue thing, into a Mount Kilimanjaro. When I say it's no more than an anthill. And I say that because, again, the transformation of society and liberation. Black and brown people, black people in particular, But like I said, there are those reactionary forces, use that as a crutch to prevent, their ultimate demise, the dismantling of the state. Even like the military, want to have these meetings or whatever, something like that, about renaming military installations or whatever, training camps or whatever. That's not going to improve the economic and political conditions of black people. It's a token gesture. Those who don't really understand, they see it as something big time. It's only a part, a smidgen even, of the real revolutionary change. Of course, there are those who are emotionally attached, to certain things, seeing the Confederate flag, waving in the distance at a NASCAR race, and so they take, the black NASCAR driver, Bubba, and, do these kind gestures. They'll give Bubba anything he wants, but liberation. They'll give Bubba concessions, which is what it is. So you take down the statues and the conditions of our people in these little Vietnams, where we are economically disadvantaged, economically depressed, with no infrastructure, and you couldn't tell the difference at all, period. So we need liberation. The state, is the enemy. It's always been the enemy. But it'll do what it has to do, to transform itself, change, like a chameleon. A chameleon can change colors, the color of the leaves on the tree to protect itself. Change the colors, of a light pole, utility pole, to protect itself. So that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's clear as night is from day from those who really understand, those of us who consider ourselves to be politicized, what I'm saying, from a revolutionary perspective in terms of complete constructive change, no different than George Washington's stance that he took against the British, against the English, the crown. You know what I'm saying? And he celebrated for that, while at the same time, he owned slaves. You see the contradiction? So for those who want to make this, this statue removal thing, their rebellion or their revolution, I would advise them to not be so gullible, to be lured into something that can go no further than first base. We talking about hitting a home run. The people have to hit a home run. The people need freedom. The people don't need concessions. The people need freedom. As under any oppressive regime. History clearly proves that these token gestures to quell a possible revolution in a society that dictates to those who are oppressed how their lives are going to be lived. Your life being in somebody else's hand who can literally control the way you're going to live. You see, and so even in their own Declaration of Independence, and I probably won't say this enough, but they declared themselves, the hypocrite whites, the hypocrite slave masters, the hypocrite so-called white elites, in their confiscation of a country that they try to turn into a paradise for themselves. So that's pretty much it with the statues. Critical lens. I'm out.